So we have taken a look at some pretty cool pieces of physical music on this channel, but today I think it is safe to say that I am about to showcase what may be the most interesting physical I have ever had the honor of holding on to in my musical collection. Say hello to a MACINTOSH PLUS Floral Shoppe reel to reel. This is only one of two that exists, and even though I can't play this shit, I am still incredibly fascinated by it. This thing is absolutely beautiful, and I want to tell you the story of how I got it, how it was made, what reel to reel is. I'm going to give you the whole nine, so get cozy. I want you to grab a fluffy blanket and let's wander down an obscure path. Aesthetic recording mediums that are so much fun to preserve and showcase. And throw a like on this video if you want to see more content like this. I know this year I'm going to return to a lot of unboxings, a lot of showcasing, kind of as I'm working on bigger videos and projects, so I would love to hear any and all feedback you would have for me. And make sure you're subscribed while you're at it so you never miss a future video. Before we begin, let's get an understanding for what exactly a reel-to-reel tape is. Reel-to-reel is some of the first magnetic tape that was used before we got cassette tapes, and this wider tape has a few advantages over the latter. Because of the wider tape when it comes to reel-to-reel, the tracks on the tape could also be wider, therefore giving them more room for audio information and thus better quality sound. Because of the higher fidelity of the reel-to-reel tape, these tapes were used in recording studios for recording and mastering music. A splice in the tape is virtually inaudible, so making edits was as simple as just cutting that part of the tape out and splicing it back together. It was just perfect for studio sessions. They would also run the tapes at a much faster speed than consumers in the studio, usually at 15 IPS, inches per second, or faster. The home consumer side of reel-to-reel can go up to 15 IPS, usually in the high-end decks and just better equipment, but the most common speeds were 7.5 IPS and 3 3/4 IPS speeds. Listen, all you gotta know is that the faster the tape, the better the sound quality. And the whole story on how I got this thing right here all begins with this man right here. I want you to say hello to my good friend Emmanuel. Emmanuel, as some of you may know, if you stick around the Vaporwave community on Twitter, I guess, is known for his own homebrews of sorts, creating dozens of reel-to-reel projects of his favorite albums for himself, as well as the artist who originally created the projects. And this dude, you gotta see this, just has made some of the most incredible things I have ever seen. He doesn't just craft these things as an ordinary reel-to-reel just for the sake of the sound, but he does the whole damn thing. Custom packaging for the cases they are housed in, to the stickers and colors of the reel-to-reels themselves. And here are a handful of ones that he has created. Manipool, Palm Mall, you got Dream Sequence over there. He's got a whole bunch he made, and they all look absolutely killer. He doesn't sell any of these or anything like that. This isn't for profit or nothing, but he just does this as a passionate hobby, and he loves to put smiles on the faces of all the artists he creates one for. So over the past couple of months of seeing him post these things on Twitter and all of the artists like raving over their albums coming to life on such an extraordinary format, I thought to myself, you know what, it would be really cool to not only get my hands on one of these, but give himself and myself an opportunity to showcase one of these pieces and just reel-to-reel in general in a video. Preserve it in a video form per se to showcase online and explain his craft, art, and story to a wider audience. After deciding which album he wants to create on reel-to-reel, the first thing Emmanuel does is he strives to get the best, the highest quality audio version of the album to put onto the reel-to-reel. The reason for this is because the fidelity level, like I was saying before, of the reel is higher than vinyl or cassette, so he wants to try and get as close as possible to the full, perfect audio quality. Doing reel-to-reel gives him just an amazing chance to give the album a place to glow at its finest potential. After this, Emmanuel will go into the audio tracks individually and level everything out, making sure none of it goes outside of what the tape can handle, all leading up to a process of splitting it all into two sides using Winamp. And once that is complete, he then researches all of the various formats the album was released on and grabs the artwork for everything he can find. Doing this, Emmanuel is given a lot more options and elements to fill in the custom artwork template he personally created for the casing of the reel-to-reels. He'll also reach out to artists and see if he can get access to the original files they used to create the artwork. and doing that gives him the opportunity to move and scale layers as needed. And everything he does for this process is done in Photoshop. Once all that is done and the audio is on the server, he takes the files to the printers to get printed. While the audio is dubbing onto the tape, he puts the reel and box together. To make the reel and the box, he hand cuts absolutely everything and applies it onto an old box that looks nice, or a new one if he's lucky and has anything lying around. He prints everything on full sheet adhesive paper and cuts it all out himself, carefully attaching the stickers onto the tapes, artwork to the boxes, and spray paint to the physical reel-to-reels. He will usually spray paint the reel-to-reels first just so they have time to dry, and once that's done and drying, he can work on everything else in between that process. And when all is set and done, Emmanuel has a product that is an absolute feast for eyes, and I was lucky enough to have him personally make me a Floral Shoppe one to showcase for you all on this channel. At first glance, looking at it stored in the box, the artwork is absolutely beautiful on this thing. It wraps fully around to the back with that signature original OG Floral Shoppe rainbow cassette binding. The box is in great condition as well. It's nice, it's sturdy, and it's not like I'm worried that something's gonna fall off as I'm handling this thing, because it's just all put together so well and strong. It really feels like an official, professionally made product and not just, you know, arts and crafts or something. And opening it up, I get hit right away with that beautiful fresh paint smell. This thing is just glowing. That classic bubblegum Floral Shoppe color screams at you. An A side and a B side. Obviously that continues that MACINTOSH Plus art style we've all come to love very dearly. This whole thing is just immaculate looking. It's always fun adding another type of Floral Shoppe to the collection, and this thing paired with the record, it all just looks super sweet. A huge shout out to Emmanuel once again, and also a huge shout out to Vectroid, obviously, for making this thing in the first place. So what are some of your most interesting or unique musical possessions? Let myself and others know in the comments below, and until next time, thank you all so much for chilling with me. I can't wait to have you for the next video. Much love, your boy, Chennington.